over. Merida's third. Here's the figures of 1 for 20. Pakistan 2 for 58. Just a little update from some Sheffield Shield cricket. Brad Hogg from around the grounds. South Australia batting first against Tasmania at the Adelaide Oval. None for 292. Jake Weatherald 152. Henry Hunt, his maiden Shield century, 132, and they tell me it's a record first wicket partnership for South Australia in history.
That's not a bad way to bring up your maiden 100. Make it a record as well. Very memorable. What about WA?
New South Wales batting first versus Western Australia at the Sydney Cricket Ground. New South Wales 2 for 207. Steve Smith 57 not out, so sort of business as usual there, but interestingly off 196 deliveries. So very slow going over there. Moses Enriquez 33 not out. Daniel Hughes picked up 53, and Daniel Solway, who recently scored his 100 on debut, he scored 65, a tight single. It's Harris that came in and shy at the stumps.
What did Solway get again, sorry?
65.
65.
So runs are plenty just when the Australian selectors are pondering a couple of gaps in the top order. The Sheffield Shield action is providing plenty of runs. Tight single there. Shafiq looks very compact in defence. He goes to 7. Pakistan 2 for 59.
Well, WA up against the test bowling attack as well. Green's been promoted from 9 to 6 in the batting order.
Ken Green, yeah, fresh off his first Sheffield Shield 100.
It's going to be a good opportunity for some of those West Australian youngsters. What I like about Masood, he looks very comfortable with the horizontal bat shots, the pull shots. Willing to take it on. It looks as though he's playing it in control as well.
Yeah, he was dropped earlier by Marcus Harris in the third over. He was on 1. But you're right, Hoggy, that was a little spell from Michael Neser where he just asked a question on the front foot continually. A brand new pink kookaburra just sort of swung, and a little bit of nip off the seam, and a few plain misses on the front foot, and then he lunged at one with hard hands and flew to third slip, and he was dropped. It's a good length there from Sean Abbott. But those back foot shots, he hasn't really been tested a great deal with a lot of short pitch bowling, but he has looked pretty comfortable, Masood, when he's on the shorter delivery. It's Shafiq facing 3 slips and a gully.
Just panning a good length. Abbott. It's going to be interesting to see how Nessa comes back on this wicket. And the ball might not swing as much. Same with Richardson as well.
A great opening spell. 5 overs, 1 for 6. Richardson none for 14 off his first 6 overs. Two for 60 after 19, and just the final catch up on the Sheffield Shield. Victoria and Queensland begin tomorrow at the MCG.
That'll be a good game, that one. Labuschagne? Labuschagne? Actually, you know Peter Karlstein.
I do.
Batting coach around here, ex-South African Test cricketer.
Yep.
Said Labuschagne on the radio. And he said, if you ever call him Labuschagne again, you're not invited back to my house. Labuschagne.
Yeah, always great debate on the pronunciation. Riley Meredith around the wicket now to Masood. There's two back on the leg side in the deep. Oh, and just we're talking about him playing the short ball well, and his change of angle has brought the undoing of the left-handed opener. He looked previously pretty comfortable from over the wicket, but good tactics from Meredith and Carey. Beautifully executed short ball. Brings the end of his innings. He goes for 22, and Pakistan 3 for 60.
Well, Masood is a tall batsman, and sometimes tall batsmen on these bouncier wickets get caught out when the ball comes around head high on an angle that's coming into the body. And he was found wanting there. Anything around the chest region, mid-rift, he's quite comfortable, but again, Australia will be looking at that, and he'll be targeted early on.
I think it was this angle around Hoggy. Everything else had been from over the wicket, and he was able to sway out of the way or just let it go through to the keeper. But that change of angle has definitely brought about the downfall there. Masood just could not deal with it. He knew he had men out in the deep. Couldn't play an attacking stroke. Tried to defend it, but he's gone. 22, and it brings the short form captain, Babar Azam, to the crease.
Really enjoy watching this guy bat.
So it'll be an instant test for him, just taking his guard. There's two slips in the gully, but the leg side field with Meredith now has his tail up, just taking his second wicket. We've got a deep fine leg, a deep backward square, and then Cameron Bancroft has just put the helmet back on, so he's in at short leg, and then there's a mid on. So you'll be able to assume that there's going to be a test of the short ball immediately to Babar Azam. Meredith really has his tail up. Beautiful stroke down the ground. Yeah, the shorter of the boundaries here at Perth Stadium, and a confident start there for Babar.
Well, that wasn't a half volley, that was a good length delivery. He's just following up what he was doing in the T20s. More timing. Probably a little fuller than a good length.
He strikes me as a batsman that, it sounds like a basic fundamental, but really watches the ball closely. Often we watch it to a certain point down the wicket, and then you try to let your body take over and don't focus right on that ball. Oh, it's a chance, a very tough chance. Carey down the leg side. Would have been a ripping catch. Moved reasonably well, but it flew quickly. Right off the face of the bat. It's just a little bit too quick for Carey. Made good ground too. Initially going with two hands, and then tried to get that left hand extended out. He'll be disappointed. He would love to have got that, but just tipped the fingertips.
It's pretty tough calling that a chance, isn't it? Did everything he possibly could to get there.
And that's an example there. Babar Azam, he received a Yorker off Mitchell Starc, first ball on Friday night here at this very stadium. And it would have clean ripped middle stump for a lot of players, but he just seems to really watch like a hawk, watch it all the way onto the bat.
I just think that's one ball that's not bold enough in test level, is the Yorker. Such a potent delivery.
Particularly with a newer ball, the reverse swinging older ball. We'll see Starc is the best exponent, really. It's good bowling from Meredith. A little wayward with a couple of deliveries early in his spell that were dispatched to the boundary, but he then drew the false stroke from Haris Sahal, picked him up caught behind, and then terrific bit of bowling to get rid of Masood. Into a nice rhythm now.
Just love the way that Babar Azam just played that late. I think this young man too, Meredith, I think he can bowl long spells and still keep that pace up. He's a goer.
Success in the over for Riley Meredith. His second wicket. He has 2 for 28 off his 4 overs. And after 20, Pakistan 3 for 68. Another change. You're watching the tour match, Australia A versus Pakistan, on Fox Cricket and on Cricket Australia live streaming. Mike Hussey settling in, and he'll be joined by Adam Peacock.
Thank you, Gilly. Australia A on top. Mike Hussey, it's quality over we've just seen from Riley Meredith.
Jones bowling from the southern end, Michael Neser.
Michael Neser able to get a hand on that. You with us now, Huss?
I'm with you now, sorry. I had the wrong headset on. No, he has been impressive, Riley Meredith. Not as consistent in his line and length as the other bowlers, particularly Jai Richardson and Michael Neser, but that's not his style. His style is to come in, be aggressive, try plenty of short stuff. Yeah, try and attack the batsman, and yeah, he might go for the odd run here or there, but he's going to pick up wickets for you.
Michael Neser was outstanding in his first spell. Just 1 for 6 off 5. Really good length. Pakistan openers had a fair degree of difficulty trying to get him away. I'll tell you one thing about Riley Meredith. He'd be very happy that he's not playing for Tasmania right now, because South Australia are 1 for 300 odd on day 1 of the Shield match. So that's a long old day.
Jake Weatherall's got a big 100 under his belt.
Big from Alex Carey behind the stumps, but not much more to it.
Yeah, looked too high with the naked eye. Another good delivery from Neser. Ball looked like it seamed back into the right-hander. Oh yeah, that nipped back sharply. Just missing the thigh pad, they hurt.
Shafiq taking his time here, and fair enough, it's a tender area of the body for a batsman to get hit on. Not as tender as it could be in another region nearby, but still not great.
It's the kind of blow that everyone else finds funny except for you.
Hey.
Takes a while to recover.
Marcus Harris, for some reason, thought there was something in that at mid-wicket.
Yeah, well, he's square of the wicket, and he was the only one to appeal. And just watch as Shafiq goes underneath his bouncer. Does the bat get down quickly enough? Well, yeah, it would. And Marcus Harris wouldn't have been able to pick up the line of that, but he would have seen that the bat was still above the body. But yeah, certainly nowhere near the bat.
It's a single, wants to get off strike, but can't. Everyone in the slip squad just looked over at Marcus Harris and went, mate.
Well, it's pretty hot out there. The quicker you take the wickets, then you can get back into the dressing room. Although Marcus Harris wouldn't be back in the dressing room for long.
No.
Be getting the pads on and out there trying to score a big score himself.
Yeah, and if he wants to get out there today, he'd want it to happen as quickly as possible, because I wouldn't imagine that going in about 7:30 tonight local time would have been an enjoyable experience overall.
No,
a challenge.
Certainly the pink ball does move around a lot at night time. Very nicely played. Particularly if it's a brand new pink ball under lights, it can really swing and seam around a lot. And it's interesting talking to some of the first-class players. They say facing spinners at night can be tricky as well. Picking up the seam of the ball, particularly wrist spinners, picking their wrong ends and flippers can be quite challenging at times.
It's 3 for 70. Having a quick chat to Yasir Shah, the masterful wrist spinner for Pakistan before play. He said he actually prefers bowling with the pink ball.
Right.
Get a little bit more work with it. So something about the seam perhaps and the hardness as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing him go about his business not only in this match but the Test series to come. First up the Gabba and then the day nighter in Adelaide.
Yeah, Riley Meredith looking to be very aggressive here. He's got a short leg in place, plus 2 men back on the hook, one down at fine leg and one at deep backward square leg. So you'd expect him to certainly test these Pakistani batsmen out with a few short ones.
Smashed himself on the foot there, perhaps, Babar. What do you make of Babar Azam in the T20 series that you're involved with the Australian team recently?
Oh, he's highly regarded by the Australian team. They put a lot of analysis into him and into his game. He's basically the glue in their team, the one guy that can bat through and score 70 or 80 and then they've got the other players, the more attacking players, to bat around him. So yeah, he's a high quality player, knows his game really well. Averaging over 50 in T20 cricket is just a phenomenal record. But he hasn't quite nailed Test cricket yet, so I'm sure that'll be niggling away at him.
21 tests at 35. He's got 11 half centuries and just 1 century.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And that, to me, that's got to be more of a mental thing than a technical thing. But yeah, the brilliant players and the great players have this great ability to, once they get in, they go on and score those triple-figured scores. And not just hundreds, but big hundreds, like double hundreds. Thinking of Steve Smith and you think of Virat Kohli, the modern-day players. Once they get in, it's almost impossible to get them out. And for Babar Azam, if he's to turn those 50s and 60s into big hundreds, then that average of 35 goes up to 50 pretty quickly.
Especially if he does what he just did there to Riley Meredith. That's a great shot off the back foot and races away for a boundary. What a shot.
Yeah, that's his strong area. Off the front and the back foot, through that cover region. That backward point as well. He's just, it's his bread and butter.
So when you say analysis, was it a key, because he is new captain for the T20 setup in Pakistan, was it a key for the Australian side to not get at him but really focus a little more energy into him, because now he's the figurehead and you want to go, and he is such a talented batsman that you see him as a key, a linchpin if you like, in the lineup? Yeah,
I think the main strategy was to try and be pretty aggressive at him, to try and get him out. If they lose him early, then, as I said, he's that one man that can just hold that innings together. So it puts a little bit of pressure on their other players, that they're not exactly as sure how to play when they know they've got that sturdy player at the other end. So be aggressive to him to try and get him out. But some of the other analysis that goes on is looking for a good matchup for him. So his strike rate might be very good against right arm fast or left arm fast bowlers, but it might not be as strong against a left arm spinner or a leg spinner. So might see someone like an Agar coming on to him earlier rather than later, or Zampa at various stages.
Is that analysis done on the basis of technique about the batsman and the over 3 for 74, or is it a pure number crunch, Moneyball style number crunch?
A bit of both, but you might see something with the naked eye, but you're looking for the stats and the historical data to try and back that up. So Dean Hills is the Australian analyst, and he does an amazing job. He does crunch the numbers. And sometimes the numbers can be misleading because obviously where you're playing as well. So the stats of playing in Australia might be very different to playing in India and playing in the subcontinent.
Neser again.
So it is important not just to look at the raw numbers and say, OK, well, let's say, for example, Babar Azam, his strike rate against left-arm spinners is a bit low, but he might have played 50 games on real turning pitches in Bangladesh, India and the UAE, whereas you come to Australia and there's not much spin at all. So it might not necessarily be the best matchup.
Interesting. I want to see a stat-off between Fox Cricket's very own Laurie Colliver and Dean Hills. Imagine that.
Loza would love that challenge, wouldn't he?
Titanic battle.
But it is amazing the analysis that goes on. So even in the Big Bash, the teams put in a lot of work into matchups, and for every single player, it's phenomenal. There's a lot of set plays and a lot of very detailed plans on every player that comes out now. When I first started playing T20 cricket, it was pretty much hit and giggle.
I remember Andrew Johns got a run for New South Wales in one of the first ever T20s.
Exactly.
Shout withheld after the initial excitement, but Neser, he's probing. His line has just been spot on all day.
Yeah, the Australia A team have got a nice partnership going here. Neser at one end just probing away on a good line and length, getting a bit of seam movement, challenging the techniques and the defence of these Pakistani batsmen. And at the other end, you've got Riley Meredith, who's just a tearaway, trying Yorkers and bounces.
Sean Abbott as well going through his warm-up routine. Neser again, just diving over the top of it there with Pucovski. So squeaks away for a handy couple for Shafiq.
Yeah, he's a good little player, Shafiq. Pretty sure he's got the most number of hundreds as batting at number 6 for Pakistan.
Of anyone.
In Test cricket?
Yeah, of anyone in Test cricket. That's a fair old few names below him as well.
And it's always an interesting place to bat at number 6 because you might come in when the ball's reverse swinging or there's spin on, and or you might have to bat with the tail a bit. You might get the second new ball. So there's so many different situations in games where you can come in batting down the order there at number 6. So he's obviously got a lovely temperament, and he must be a very good all-round player, playing the fast bowlers and the spinners well, being able to handle reverse swing.
He's off on a quick run there. That's good running.
That's a part of his game that I've enjoyed today. Just dropping and running, rotating the strike in that manner puts the pressure back on the bowling team.
3 for 77. The names below. So Garfield Sobers, Shiv Chandapal, Tony Gregg, Ricky Ponting, Hashan Tilakaratne. So reasonable lineup.
Ponting down at number 6.
Well, that's where he...
How many did he score down there?
7 before he made the move north.
Scored another 30, 38 or 30 something.
Did okay. Remember the one here at the Wacker. Was it his first test?
Very first test match against Sri Lanka.
99.
That's right, he did too.
They were interviewing his...
Looked a bit of a dodgy LB shout too.
Wasn't good. I think they were interviewing his parents at the time, or just about to, I think. Neatly worked off the pad. Sean Abbott back into the attack. Oh, sorry,
Jai Richardson. So Meredith having a break. 5 overs, 2 for 32. Jai Richardson was very impressive with the brand new pink ball as well. Getting some good